What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. I hope you guys had a great weekend, but of course today we're talking about more trade talk, right? We're talking about the trade deadline that's coming up on February 8th, and one of those teams that should be very active at the trade deadline is my favorite team, that being the Portland Trail Blazers. Because with Siakam gone and OG gone, in my personal opinion, the best power forward left to possibly go get if the Blazers are willing to move him, which at this point it seems like they're not going to, but I really hope they do, is Jeremy Grant. And then of course he also like Malcolm Brogdon, Matisse Thybulle, Robert Williams would have been a name as well to watch, but of course he got injured. There's just so many different things the Blazers could do to dictate this trade deadline. So I want to go ahead and jump onto 2K today with my favorite team and do exactly what I want to see the Blazers do at the deadline and rebuild them from there. Let's get into this Blazers rebuild video after the trade deadline, basically, is what we're doing today. Of course, as always, before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you are new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. Your boy just came back from the dentist and is ready to go. So let's go ahead and take a look at this Blazers roster. Of course, they have Anthony Simons, Jeremy Grant, Malcolm Brogdon, DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams, Shaedon Sharpe, Scoot Henderson, Matisse Thybulle, Jabari Walker. You guys know what this team is looking like. Of course, guys like Robert Williams out for the season. Shaedon Sharpe is hurt with a abductor injury at the moment, so there is some guys that are injured that are not showing on here. But here is the two guys I think one guy for sure. Brogdon has to be gone at the deadline. There's no reason for him to be on this team after the deadline. It makes absolutely zero sense for him to stay here, so hopefully they move him at the very least. Jeremy Grant, I could see a world where you keep him, but in my personal opinion, with the way the market's shaping right now, the Blazers should be all in on trading him. I just think the way he's playing this season, and with Siakam off the market and OG off the market, to me, he's the next best wing that a lot of contending teams would like. I know his contract isn't the best, but years from now, it's only going to be like a little percentage of the salary caps because, of course, it's only going to keep going up. So, Jeremy Grant, to me, is a must trade as well. As a Blazers fan, I really hope they trade him. And then Thybulle as well is someone that I think a lot of teams wouldn't mind taking on as well. But I wouldn't be surprised if they kept him. I haven't heard his name a whole lot, but Malcolm Brogdon, let's start with him because he's the obvious one that needs to go. Now, here's the trade that a lot of people have been talking about, and I want to see if I can make it happen in 2K. So, it's Brogdon going to the Knicks because the Knicks sound interested in Brogdon. So, of course, what the Knicks have is Evan Fournier's expiring contract. So, let's start with that. All right, so we could do Brogdon and Fournier straight up, but obviously, the Blazers need to get some value out of this. So, and then I've heard, things about that Mavericks pick, and then also Quentin Grimes is what Blazers fans are dreaming of. Now, I don't know if the Knicks would, trade both of them. I could definitely see maybe that Dallas pick being in there for sure, but Quentin Grimes, I think, I feel like it's someone the Knicks should hang on to potentially, for future trades, but if they want to throw Quentin Grimes in the trade, as a Blazers fan, I would not complain. So let's see if they would even say yes to this to start things off. So we'll just, throw in a filler piece like Moses Brown, who's, out for the season anyway. So let's see if they say yes to this. I doubt they do. They're going to counter. They want Jabari Walker and then Chris Murray. They'll give me Malachi Flynn. Of course, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep Chris Murray out of the trade talks. We just, obviously drafted him with pick 23. But let's see if I throw in a second, if that's going to change anything. I highly doubt it, but, we'll try anyway. 2 seconds. They want Jabari Walker, and we have to throw a first in here. Once again, not doing it. So I think we're going to have to probably settle on just a first-round pick for Malcolm Brogdon, and then let's say we also get like another couple of seconds. I would even argue that Brogdon technically could be worth 2 firsts. I can see that, but today I'll just settle on 1 first from Dallas. I would love if Quentin Grimes in this trade as well. We'll go ahead and send this over. They still want Jabari Walker. Okay, if we just have to do the 1 first, that's fine. They're still, or they want Tays, whatever. We'll do this. So basically, in the first round pick for Brogdon, obviously, if Quentin Grimes or another first, then that would be ideal as a Blazers fan. But I still think getting 1 first isn't the worst thing in the world. And then another thing, now that we have that Mavericks pick, the other team that's been keeping tabs on Jeremy Grant is Dallas Mavericks, because of course they tried to get Siakam. They weren't unable to do so. So now they turn their attention to Jeremy Grant. What are the Mavericks going to give up? I'm not 100% sure. I personally believe Jeremy Grant could be worth 2 firsts. I really do. So I'm going to throw him in here. But one thing about making a trade with the Knicks, and Eric and I were talking about this on our podcast, link is down in the description below, by the way. If we, got the Mavericks pick, you could get really creative with the Dallas Mavericks and Jeremy Grant trade. You could either have the Mavericks unprotect, or you could send this pick back 2024. We could send it back to them. They get their pick back, and we could take like 2 future firsts, or you can unprotect this 2024 and get like their 2026. So a lot of interesting things you could do there. So what we're going to try to do is I think we're going to aim for 2024 and 2026. And the easiest way this could be done is obviously no matter what, if we do this, we're not going to be able to do it in 2K, but this pick becomes unprotected if we do this. So let's say we go to, let's talk about what needs to be in the trade for the Dallas Mavericks anyway before we just, go through with this. So of course, they're going to need salary filler in here. So if that's like Maxi Kleber, they need $13 million more in here. And like Richaun Holmes, for instance, I think that would be enough. So Kleber and Richaun Holmes, like two really, contracts are not really bad contracts. Prosper, I think if you get away with 2 firsts, I think I'd be happy with that. So let's say we sent them, let's do this. Let's say we send them their 2024 pick back and we get 2025, I guess since it's going to, or no, 2020, wait, where's 2025? Do they not have their 2025 either? Oh no, it's right there. But of course you can't trade at the moment. All right, let's just say this is 2025 or whatever. It doesn't matter. Let's just say we did this. So 2 firsts, we send their pick back and then let's say this 2025, 2027. You could do something like this creatively, and you could argue maybe another young player needs to be in this trade, but I'd be very happy with getting 2 first-round picks from Dallas. See what they say. They want a couple seconds. They'll give me another first. I think 3 firsts is a little steep. I'm going to take this first out, and then we could do the trade, but they insist on taking me taking another first. You know what, Dallas? I'm gonna go ahead and take that. So we get 3 firsts for Jeremy Grant, which is not what I was intending, but we'll take it, I guess. I obviously just wanted to be 2 firsts, but we'll take it. So thank you, Dallas. But now we have some future draft capital built up, which is great. And then one other player, like I said, is Matisse Thybulle. I think we could also move him. I do believe he could be worth at least a protected first. I truly do. Or a team that's guaranteed to make the playoffs, it would be fine with giving up their first round pick. Like they're already in the mix and they're going to make the playoffs no matter what. So I could see that because Thybulle's been really good from 3 this year. Larry Nance is being offered to me. The Thunder, I guess the Thunder could, in theory. This is 2025 76ers pick. So I wouldn't, if I'm the Thunder, I would not gamble that pick on Matisse Thybulle. So we're not doing that. Chris Paul, I don't really want Chris Paul, obviously. We may not get anything, which is fine. I can just wait on Thybulle till the offseason. So now I'm going to fix rotation. Obviously, Robert Williams gets cracked in here, but obviously he's out for the season. So we are just going to throw these minutes to like Evan Fournier or Richaun Holmes. It doesn't really matter. Let's just go. All right, let's do this. We're going to do 9-man rotation for the rest of the season. Bench utilization down to 50. But that is a successful trade deadline in my personal opinion. So Matisse Thybulle starts, which he doesn't anymore in real life. I would love to see the Blazers start Shaedon Sharpe with Scoot and Simons for the rest of the season when Shaedon Sharpe is healthy again. We're going to do that. So just going to fix this up as best as I can. So Sharpe, Scoot, Simons, Jabari Walker at the 4, who's been starting. Aiden, of course, will start. Robert Williams is out for the season, so we're just going to swap him with Richaun Holmes. And then we can, worry about him to next offseason. So we'll go something like this. And then Evan Fournier or Richaun Holmes going to get like 10 minutes here. And then we'll go something like this. I'll fix the rest of this. The rest of this doesn't really matter. So I'm going to fix the rest of this. Man, our bench is terrible. But we're going to go ahead and so to the end of the season. It is now the Scoot, Simons, and Sharpe show for the rest of the season, which is what we wanted. And then we could go ahead and send like Chris Murray and also Ryan Repair to the G League for the rest of the season. Or I guess maybe not Chris Murray, but we're definitely going to send Ryan Repair there for sure. So I'll see you guys at the end of year 1. Trade deadline successful. Feel pretty good about how it went. And we'll see what happens in the offseason and how lucky we get in the lottery. Today's video is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a player props app that's available on mobile or desktop. They have all kinds of sports to choose from. The way it works is you choose more or less on the projection that it gives you. They have all kinds of stats. Of course, they have NFL because we got the AFC and NFC Championship this weekend. We got NBA, hockey, soccer, League of Legends is on here. There's all kinds of stuff to choose from. So if you think Bojan is going to go over 19.5, you click more on the projection. If you think Giannis is going under 32.5, you click less on the projection. No matter what, the payout stays the same. 2 players, 3 times your entry, all the way up to 6 players being 25 times your entry. If you want to start for Prize Picks, use code Crushable as the match first deposit. Dollar for dollar up to $100. And the way I use Prize Picks is DGF's correlation and optimizer tool. Basically, how the optimizer tool works, it compares discrepancies across multiple sports books. For instance, this guy right here, hockey player on the Winnipeg Jets. Don't know anything about him, but right now every single sports book has it listed at 3.5, while you got Prize Picks listing it at 3. So there's the discrepancy, and then you go to the correlation tool, and basically it gives you a same game parlay in that game. So like for instance, like this Chiefs and Ravens game this weekend, Lamar Jackson, if he throws for a lot if he completes more than 19.5 passes, but more than likely Odell Beckham and Zay Flowers are going over their yards. Same thing with Mahomes, with Watson and Rashee Rice. I had a successful weekend using these tools as well. Here is the one that came straight from the correlation tool, soccer, another correlated sport. So 125 off of that. And then there's this new app called Dabble that I've had a lot of fun on. Got $100 off of this one straight from the optimizer. Here's another one, and here's another one. So if you want to check out DGF's tools, links are down in the description below. Prize Picks is down in the description below. Let's get back to the rebuild. All right, so of course we did not make the playoffs, nowhere near sniffing the playoffs, of course, but Simon's averaged 23, 16 and 11 from DeAndre, and 16 from Sharp, 15 from Scoot, and then 9 from Jabari Walker. So let's go ahead and see who wins the championship. Of course, what we're looking forward to is the draft lottery. We got to hope for some lottery luck. Guys, I want Alex Sarr. I really do. I think Alex Sarr would be perfect. I don't see Ayton as the long-term answer at center, obviously. And Knicks going to win the championship after they get Malcolm Brogdon. So, yeah, maybe they should go get him in real life. LeBron James retires, a Laker. I'm going to override that once because I don't think he's going to be done yet, but maybe he is. Who knows? Draft lottery time. So, we are projected pick number 3. So, we're projected a top 3 pick. Obviously, we'd love to stay in that top 3 and possibly get number 1, and we get 2. So, number 2, all right, Spurs get 1. I'm curious to see what the Spurs do because they do have Victor Wembanyama already. If Alex Sarr could fall to our lap, I'd be very happy. We also get Golden State's pick at 16 and then Dallas's pick, which ends up being 26 because I sent it back to them. That's right. So we get 3 of their future picks in the future, which is fine because I don't really want the 26th pick anyway. So 2 and 16, not too shabby. Pretty happy with that. So staff signing, first and foremost, we guys, as Blazers fans, I think we can all collaborate on one opinion. We may all disagree with a lot of things, but one thing we can all agree on, this man needs to go. His whole staff needs to go. They all gone. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. They can all go. I want them all gone. So they're all gone. Coaching staff completely cleaned out, which is awesome. So now, who are we going to get as a replacement? Now, ideally, I'd like to get someone who's real. But looking at the options, there's not a lot of good real coaches. The one I did see was Wes Unseld. Chauncey's still here, of course. Jacob Underwood, but those guys are not real. J.R. Stewart Jr. But every time I try like an assistant, I get blocked. So I would look at that as well. But so I guess the most real head coach we can get is Wes Unseld. His ratings actually aren't bad. I don't ever get him. So you know what? We'll get. Just kidding. He's going to decline me. So should offer more money, I guess. Maybe we have to settle on J.R. Stewart Jr. Don't know anything about him, but welcome to the team, J.R. Stewart Jr. You're our new head coach. I don't even know if that's a real person. It probably isn't. But I'm about the rest of this coaching staff, and I will see you guys on draft night with who we're taking at number 2. Obviously, depends on what the Spurs do with their first overall pick. All right, so let's jump in the draft, and let's see who the Spurs take at 1. I'm really hoping and praying they do not take Alex Sarr. I'm really hoping they go like Collier at number 1. They obviously have Wembanyama and Zach Collins at center, so I assume they'd pass on Alex Sarr. Let's see. Do I get lucky? Yes, they do pass him. They get Nikola Topic instead, or however you say his name. I keep getting corrected in the comment section, so whatever. It doesn't matter at this point. We are taking Alex Sarr, and that is a dream scenario in my opinion. Welcome to Portland. 7-1 center. He's going to take over Aiden's role eventually. Might even do it right away. Who knows? And then we have, Isaiah here. We have Mac. We have Ruben. We have Gary Diaw. I think I'm going to go ahead and take, we have so many forwards at this point, but no one that's like really sticking. We have Bobby Klitman as well. Mac. I think I'm going to take Isaiah here, 19-year-old out of Spain. And man, I love that draft. I love how that went. So we get Alex Sarr, number 2, dream scenario there. We also get Isaiah later in the draft at pick 16. So feeling good. Rashawn Holmes accepts, which is to be expected. We are going to decline Evan Fournier's contract, and Sharp, of course, will accept. Qualifying offers: Justin Minaya, Duop Brief, and Ibu Baji. Duop Brief, in my opinion, has probably earned a qualifying offer. He's been pretty solid for us this season. Free agency, let's go see what's going on here. So no free agents for us to worry about. And we don't, I don't know if we'll be signing anybody in free agency. I guess we'll see. So right now we have Scoot at point guard. We have Simons and Sharp, of course. Thibault, Tamani Kamara. We have Jabari Walker, Kleba, Isaiah, Chris Murray. And then we have Robert Williams, Alex Sarr, and DeAndre. Since we did just draft Alex Sarr, I don't think it makes a lot of sense to keep Robert Williams here. I'm not saying Robert Williams, at this point, coming off an ACL injury, I don't even know what his value would be, or another knee injury. I don't even remember what it was at this point, but I can't imagine he'd go for a lot. I think he'd just be too risky for a lot of teams to take on. So it would, in theory, make sense for the Blazers to just keep him and try to build up his value. But I do want Alex Sarr to play right away. Of course, we could move Aiden, but I just don't see any single team wanting to take DeAndre Aiden right now, unless we are attaching a first-round pick. Maybe I could convince a team to take DeAndre Aiden. That's probably who I'd rather move, if I'm completely honest with you. So we'll see what we can do. Power forward spot, I'm cool with starting Jabari Walker next season if we have to. I'll try to get creative with moving Aiden. I don't know how easy it's going to be. We might have to attach a pick to get rid of him, to be honest with you, but we'll see. Maybe there's some desperate team out there that's willing to take him on, but I can't imagine we get much. It'd almost be like a John Collins trade. Like when John Collins moved for like just a second, I think that's what you could get for Aiden, and it'd have to be like a desperate team wanting a big. So we'll see if there is a team like that that I can find. When it comes to moving DeAndre Aiden, there's not a ton of teams I feel like make sense. One team that I kind of came across was maybe the Memphis Grizzlies, but they're already paying a ton of money. They just drafted a Daymara as well, so maybe they're not really that interested. But I guess in theory, maybe they could give me like Steven Adams, who's hurt anyway, as salary filler, and Zaire Williams maybe. And then at this point, we're getting 2. And then Brandon Clark, that would be pretty... I mean, that'd be a lot of value for them to give up. Yeah, I just don't see it. So the Grizzlies to me don't make a bunch of sense. The other team maybe is like the Washington Wizards, but... And I feel like the Wizards would only do this if obviously we were giving them like a first-round pick in return. So Bagley and Landry Shamet, and then... Yeah, I really can't come up with anything. So, yeah, I don't know if we can move DeAndre, and I think he's stuck here. I'm going to be honest with you. I think he's stuck. Like I said, the only other team that I could maybe potentially see is the Clippers. Like, I could maybe see a path of the Clippers taking him. So, let's say they gave us... I mean, they don't really have to give us anything. Let's just say they gave us a second to take him on. I don't know if they'd be willing to do so. They need... Yeah, they're not going to be able to do this, I don't think. Maybe Terrence Mann's in the trade, because I think they have cap space since they haven't re-signed Paul George yet, but this should give them the ability to do so. So... They give me a second and Terrence Mann for DeAndre Aiden. There's been some rumors about Terrence Mann being moved, or Bones Highland, who is another guy that I could see being, you know, maybe another guy they wouldn't mind throwing in. So let's say it's Bones Highland, but to me, Bones Highland doesn't make a ton of sense for our team. So I'm going to try to flip him somewhere else. Whoever can just take Bones Highland, I don't really care at this point. So let's say it's maybe Utah, for instance. They take on Bones Highland. Maybe they throw Omer in the trade, and so Bones is heading to Utah, and then Omer, you know, goes to the Clippers. I don't know, something like this. Or maybe they don't even have to throw in anybody. Maybe the Jazz can just send another second, which they don't even have. Never mind. So I guess we're throwing Omer back in the trade. I'm just trying to get creative here, but definitely tough. So let's say he goes to the Clippers as well. At this point, I don't care. I just want to get off of DeAndre Aiden. So we get a second-round pick, and then the Clippers are getting Omer. Bones Highland goes to the Jazz. This trade looks acceptable to me. You're asking me to give away a valuable asset, so they say no. Let's say another second's going to Utah. I don't know. I'm just trying to get off Aiden here. They're still going to say no, of course. Why would they? All right, whatever. We're just going to get Bones Highland back and see what they say. They agree. Okay, Bones Highland is going to immediately be flipped. Let's just do this instead. It'll be a lot easier. So I don't think Bones Highland makes a lot of sense to keep here, although he's pretty good in 2K. I'm going to move him here and flip him to another team for a second-round pick. Or the 76ers want to give me a first, but I'm just going to take a second. So let's just see if anybody's willing. The Spurs. So let's say Spurs maybe could make sense with Bones Highland. I don't know. I'm just going to send him over there for a second. I just want him off the team. Okay, just like that, DeAndre Aiden is gone. I just wanted to get off of his contract, and we did that successfully. So Alex Sarr is a clear path. Robert Williams will back him up probably. And then this is probably what the rest of our rotation is looking like. Ironically enough, we actually do need a backup guard. So technically, I could have kept Bones Highland, but I don't think that was the kind of backup guard we needed, who is obviously like a score first point guard. We need a guy that's going to like come in and just be like kind of a veteran presence, not score the ball too much. So not Kemba Walker, but like Beverly now, like Gary Harris, for instance, or Edmund Sumner, like something like that. It really doesn't have to be anybody too crazy. Luke Kennard, Gary Trent, Malik Beasley. I'm going to go Edmund Sumner. We just need some depth. I'm not looking for anybody too crazy. So we'll go Edmund Sumner here, and that will be our offseason. So nothing too crazy. We're just kind of being patient at this point. So we get ourselves a backup guard. Ideally, in a realistic or in a ideal world, Ryan Repair would be ready to play next year, but I doubt it. So let's go see what player progression looks like, and then we're ready to go into next season. Duop, Brees, and Baji back. So Simon's up to an 85. Sharp is up to an 84. Scoot's up to an 80. Rob Williams is up. Jabari Walker's up. Tamani Kamara's up. Edmund Sumner is up. So that's all really good. So we can get straight into this next season. and take a look at our rotation. That took a while to get exactly what I needed done, but hey, we did it, and that's all that matters. So let's go look at the rotation. Power Rankings is going to land us at 29th, but here's your rotation going into the season. It's going to be Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, Shaden Sharp, Jabari Walker, Alex Sarr, Robert Williams, Matisse Thybulle, Tamani Kamara, and Edmund Sumner. I really like that a lot. So now what we can do is we can send Isaiah to the G League, who will be ready to play next year right away. And then we're going to do the same thing with Ryan Repair. Chris Murray, of course, we could do that with, do it with him as well. But I really want to see Ryan Repair be ready to play for us eventually, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But the moving to the 3 does go up to 72, so that should help out a ton. But we'll do that. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 2. No plans to stop at the deadline. I think I'm just chilling with where we're at. So I'll see you guys at the end of year 2. At the end of year 2, Jokic wins MVP. Collier is a Rookie of the Year. Cameron Thomas, 6th man. Wembanyama, Defensive Player. Amon Thompson, Most Improved. And Jalen Brunson, Clutch Player. Bickerstaff, Coach of the Year. So this season actually went a lot better than I even anticipated. I'm going to be honest with you. Obviously, you get Alex Sarr making an all-rookie first team, which is great. Looks like he may have averaged 18 points per game. Am I reading that right? Is that what that meant? Let's go take a look. And yeah, he averaged around 18, which is really good to see. Of course, our other rookie didn't play at all. He was in the G League, but we ended up as a play-in team. So, or we were. I guess we didn't actually make it. Interesting. We were a play-in team for a second, but we're in the lottery, which honestly is no. We dropped to 13. Wow. Actually, not too upset with that. But as you guys can see, how close it was. But I thought we were a playing team. I guess I wasn't paying attention. But that's actually better, honestly. I actually like that a lot better anyway. So let's go take a look at the player stats. So you had 23 from Simons, 21 from Sharp, 19 from Scoot, and then 18 from Alex Sarr. So to me, right here is our big 4. And then Jabari Walker, 9 points, 8 rebounds. I extended him. I also extended Anthony Simons. Honestly, if Jabari Walker can develop into an 80 overall, I'm really cool with him being our starting power forward for the rest of the video. I'm definitely serious about that. Sumner even had 9 points. Robert Williams, 7 and 9, and a block. Could have extended him. Still not sure what to do with him. But 6 points from Thybulle. So not a bad season by any means. Let's go ahead and see who wins the championship, though. And we'll go from there. So you got the Thunder probably going to go all the way. Yeah, they do. So Thunder, Cavs, your typical 2K finals. Thunder going to win the championship. All right, so LeBron James is going to retire this year. Nothing I can do about it this time. All right, draft lottery. So obviously it's going to say that the Bulls get our pick, but that is not the case. And so I projected pick 11. I'm a little disappointed by that. Obviously, I would love to win the Cooper Flag sweepstakes here to add another really good piece of the puzzle here. But with that all being said, we're going to get... Oh, I was about to say, I thought that was pick 2. We get pick 11. This pick does still belong to Portland because Portland's pick is lottery protected until like 2028. So I am going to get that pick back from the Bulls. And then we can draft a pick 11. So we get to add another good player here. But really solid season. Almost made the playoffs. I wonder if we can get a real head coach, though. That would be something I wouldn't mind doing because... Obviously, as we know, our man, J.R. Stewart, don't think is a real person. So I'm going to get a real head coach because there's a lot of good options here. Frank Vogel is here. Taylor Jenkins, Will Hardy. I always love getting Will Hardy. Just great coach to get in 2K. So I'm going to go Will Hardy. And we can go to the draft. And I'll see you guys once we have our pick back. All right, so let's see if we can get at pick number 11 in this draft. We got Trey Johnson. We got Nikola. We got Florin. We got Carter Bryant. We got Dirk. We definitely need a long-term backup guard, potentially. So Trey Johnson, to me, doesn't look like a terrible option. Jalil, although we could just maybe get that in free agency. Nikola, I'm not really sure what I want to take here. So we got All-Star, Trey Johnson, All-Star, Starty. So I think we take Trey Johnson here. Be our backup, too, for the future. And he's 6'6". So we'll go ahead and take him. Feel pretty good about that. So we'll take Trey Johnson. A couple of second rounders that I'm not going to worry about this time. Thybulle does accept his player option. We'll accept all of these. Qualifying offers, Duop Reith. At this point, not really going to crack the rotation, so it's not that big of a deal if we don't keep him. And then we do have some money to sign someone, so we'll take a look into that potentially. But Scoot, obviously, Anthony Simons, Edmund Sumner, and Trey Johnson. We have Sharp, Thybulle, Kamara. So it looks like Tamani Kamara is ready to play some backup 3 minutes, so I think we can move on from Thybulle pretty comfortably. And then Isaiah could be our starting 4 next year, potentially. Then Chris Murray. So, and then we still have Robert Williams and Alex Sarr. So, I think I want to make a... While we have some cap space, actually, we could do one of two things. While we have cap space, we could absorb a contract in here and be, pretty happy about whoever we get in return. Or we could, trade some guys for some picks and sell and just sign a free agent here. So, like, I don't know if there's anybody that stands out to me as who I'd want. Bones Highland, who we had earlier. I'm not going for him, obviously. Shooting guards, Levert, Quentin Grimes is someone I try to get, in that trade earlier. But I wouldn't mind getting him. Isaiah Joe, Malik Beasley, Alex Caruso. We did just get Trey Johnson, though. So no need to really go for either of those guys. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to sell Thybulle. Most likely. So I think that's the first step. We're going to summon T-Stable off. Let's get rid of him because I think Tamari Kamara is ready to play. This is actually kind of a perfect scenario, I feel like, for both teams, where we send Thibault over to Boston for for Peyton Pritchard, who could be honestly a perfect backup point guard in a second-round pick. So Thibault showed 35% from 3, so we'll go ahead and do that trade with the Celtics. Thibault goes to Boston. We get Peyton Pritchard, who I believe is from the area. Yeah, he went to Oregon. So yeah, which is cool homecoming there. Trey Johnson can back up, obviously, Anthony Simons. We have Tamari Kamara, who can back up Shaedon Sharpe. Jabari Walker, Isaiah, Chris Murray. I'm a little hesitant on the power forward spot. I would ideally, love to think that one of these guys could be the guy going forward, but we might hold off on that notion. We're probably going to go into the season with them being the guy, but if I don't see player progression on their side, if I don't see development, then maybe we can go all in on a power forward that would, take us to that next level. So, Duop Breath is back, but as far as Isaiah's up to 79, his 3-point shots up to a B-. Barry Walker does not move, so that's a little disappointing. But I mean, overall, this roster is developing very nicely. So I mean, I think I'm pretty happy with the results. So even Ryan Repair is up to a 75, which is beautiful. So let's get into this next season. Let's see if this year we can be a play-in team, maybe even a playoff team. I don't think that's too far of a stretch to think that's possible. But I'm feeling pretty good about how this team is shaping up to look like. And then if we are able to go all in on a power forward or a big or whatever at the deadline and further solidify our chances of maybe contention, which is as crazy as that sounds, that's definitely possible. I feel like we're 3-star balance. Can we 4-star anywhere? It'd be 3.5 at 7 seconds. So I think we're gonna run a 7 seconds still. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead probably to the end of the season. If I do stop at the deadline, I will show you. Let's take a look at the rotation again. So Scoot, Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, Isaiah. And then they want to start Robert Williams, but I think either way, these guys are interchangeable. But Isaiah will start the 4 now. Robert Williams, Jabari Walker, Tamari Kamara, Trey Johnson, and that's looking beautiful to me. So I will see you guys at the end of the season or at the deadline, as I said. So at the end of this season goes swimmingly well. I will say that. Very, very good season. Very, very happy with the results as we won 50 games this year. Isaiah makes an all-rookie first team, obviously spending time in the G League last year. Trey Johnson also makes it, which is great to see. We are the 4th seed in the West, though, which is just absolutely fantastic. Here are your player stats. You had 21 from Simons, 21 from Shaedon Sharpe, 19 from Scoop, 17 from Sar, 13 from Isaiah, and then 9 from Trey Johnson, 9 from Jabari Walker, 6 from Tamari Kamara, and then 6 and 7 from Robert Williams. So I gave out a lot of extensions at the deadline. I extended Robert Williams. I extended Ryan Repair, extended him as well. Extended Tamari Kamara. So we have this core kind of coming together, but let's see if we can have some success in the playoffs as we get Utah in round 1. Obviously, would love nothing more to get out of round 1 with somebody come around as we are the 4th seed, and we are going to be up 2-1 at one point, but we are down 3-2, so we have to force a game 7 if we want any chance to get out of this round. And we do have a lead in this game 5, or game 6, I should say, but we are going to lose 114-126. But it is progression to see that, of course, we made the playoffs and got into round 1. So obviously this offseason probably won't. Ooh, Donovan Mitchell to the Magic is interesting, but the Magic end up losing to the Thunder. But I really like where this team is headed. I keep saying that, but it is definitely in the right direction. We do have Dallas's pick at 28, so obviously that's not going to matter for us. And Chicago's pick finally can convey. So all of our picks are freed up, all of our future picks. So of course, if we want to make some big trade, we could do that. But I think I'm cool just staying the patient route and letting this team kind of just figure it out. I think progression is only going to keep getting better. Isaiah might go up to an 82 if we get lucky. We're going to get Dylan Andrews late in the draft. I guess I'll sign him. Chris Murray, I'll accept. But yeah, the roster is really shaping up. Shaedon Sharpe, of course, we're going to have to give a contract out to. So we're going to have to re-sign him, but we'll do that. No hesitation there. So re-sign Shaedon Sharpe. So that's done. That's taken care of, which is fantastic. And now all we need to worry about is pretty much, I mean, we extended Simons already for a while. Scoot's going to have to be paid next year. But I think we are looking pretty solid. Let's just go straight to player progression. Let's see what this is about to look like. I'm hoping to see, like, we have so many young players that we are just itching to make, like, an all-in move, in my opinion. So, Shaedon Sharpe, 89. Scoot, 87. Alex R, 85. Simons is up. So, yeah, honestly, if there is a move to be made at the deadline to go all in, I think we do it. I really do. I don't know who would it be, but I really got to consider it. So I will more than likely see you guys at the deadline. Pretty confident this could actually be our championship year. I really do. I think this team is getting there. And I think with one more big trade, if that means moving Anthony Simons and sliding Scoot and Sharp in the backcourt and getting a legitimate small forward, or getting an upgrade the power forward spot, I'm willing to do it. So I will see you guys at the deadline to hopefully make that all-in move and make it happen. So we are starting with the trade deadline because we have a couple of really good options. So here are the two that I'm looking at in particular. Somehow Chris Murray or Keegan Murray ends up on the Bulls. So that's my first option. They're rebuilding and willing to trade him. So 87 overall. My next option, somehow the Cavs lost him. They've been losing him lately in these rebuilds. Is Evan Mobley on the Jazz. They are rebuilding, and obviously Evan Mobley is someone I would love to get. So Evan Mobley would be the all-in move I would love to make. We set ourselves up, and I think obviously we got to start big. So let's go with Evan Mobley on the Jazz and see if we can pry him away from Utah. So just signed a massive contract with them, it looks like, but let's see what we need to give up in order to do this. So if I have to trade Anthony, I'm going to try to keep Anthony, Scoot, and Sharp out of the conversation to start things off. So let's say we started it with, probably have to throw Robert Williams' contract in here to match the salary anyway. We'll throw Jabari Walker in here. That's going to have to match the salary. Let's say it's Trey or Ryan Rupert. And then let's say they have, let's see, they got some young players they can throw in here. They have Tucker. I don't know if we can make this happen. They don't even really have cheap contracts. Mayo. I guess I could throw a man here. Okay, we have to include more money. So Ryan Rupert is making, let's say it's Pritchard. Still not going to happen. So Pritchard can't happen. Pritchard making the most out of the rest of the guys other than Alex Sarr. I don't think I can get away with throwing Alex Sarr in here. That's going to be really tough to convince myself to do that. So Jabari Walker, or we could extend it to Pritchard and Repair, and let's see if we can make something happen there. And can they give me Cooks? No. Okay, we could do Josh instead. I don't even know if that would make this work, or Sensabaugh. We'll try it. This Mavericks pick. Ooh's got 3 stars. That's going to help out a ton. And then this other Mavericks pick. So let's say we give it the Mavericks future. All of this for Evan Mobley to go all in. I think we pull the trigger. They don't agree. All right, fair enough. And I don't think we can really make something happen. So I think Keegan Murray is going to have to be the guy we go for. So it was fun, but I think Keegan Murray would be probably a lot easier to get. And funny enough, he gets reunited with his brother anyway. So only making, he's on a 1-year deal. Obviously, we're not throwing as much of this in here. Should be a little bit easier to match his contract as well. Jabari Walker, Peyton Pritchard needs $6 more million in this trade, and that could be Ryan Repair, which I wanted to see him be somebody for us in the future, but I think, if we get Keegan Murray, we got to do it. So we are going to need a little bit more in this trade. Repair is making, so we'll throw Repair. We're probably going to have to throw, not Chris Murray. I would like to keep him with his brother here. Let's say it's Duop Reith, and they give me another really cheap contract. Do they have that? Wheeler, we're still a little bit off. Man, it might have to be Chris Murray, which I didn't want it to be, but I guess I could throw Trey Johnson in here as well. Oh, he's averaging 15, though. Sorry, Chris Murray. You're getting traded for your brother at this point. I apologize, but we're doing it. So I'm going to keep that Mavericks pick out of the talks. I'll do the 2028 one instead. They agree. So we get Keegan Murray. I wanted to keep Chris Murray for the vibes, but Keegan Murray, all-in move, makes our rotation a lot better. And now here is the rest of the lineup. So if this team can't go win a championship, I'd be a little disappointed, but hopefully it results in us winning one. We'll see what happens. So another really good, successful regular season, but obviously none of that matters if we're not hoisting up a Larry O'Brien trophy. No All-NBA representatives, but we do get that 2nd seed in the West. Obviously, we've built the roster to contend, so hopefully that is the results we get. So let's see what happens. So Golden State in round 1, they no longer have Stephen Curry. They have Walker Kessler, Franz Wagner, Podziemski. So yeah, they definitely have an interesting squad being built up here, but that all being said, our whole rotation's on fire. I would love nothing more than to... Yeah, I'm done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.